Now EHOME.
Bane again.
Yeah, it's time for
Bane.
EHOME trying to do what Faith was able to do over on Newbee, or at least attempt
10
it.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So that should be, well, I mean, it could be
Dire team pick.
Tusk 3, but I believe it's going to be Tusk 4, right, with Bane in the 5. However, the Nature's Prophet we've been seeing in the 1 and the 3. Newbee go to
In
the...
Southeast Asia, a lot of the teams like to play. There's quite a bit of teams that use the Prophet as number a position 1 carry. I
10
saw Geek
seconds
Fam
remaining.
do it. I think it was at the ESL online event.
5 seconds remaining.
Not sure if I like it too much, but it does allow you to. He's kind of like a lone druid carry where you dominate your lane and then you can push towers very quickly. But he falls off very quickly if you have a Nature's Prophet carry. You have to make sure that you finish the game in a specific timing, or you have to pick a backup plan as your mid hero, someone that can carry the game.
Yeah, I know LGD like this pick. They put it on Chalice and they win the game in like 20 minutes flat.
Does he go like Necrobook or like just right click items? What does he go?
I believe in that game he went
Radiant
Necro
team
1 to start, just to get the farming rolling. But then afterwards it was not straight into that Necro 3. I have to take a look at what it was the rest of the way.
This is a good hero. He had to fit the lineup. They needed a front line that can buy pipe because there's a lot of magic damage from
10
Ember and
seconds
Jakiro.
remaining.
And Underlord also mitigate damage from coming out from the carry.
5
And it
seconds
goes really well with the
remaining.
Nature's Prophet. You have a lot of map presence with the Dark Reef plus Tele on Nature's Prophet. And the way the heroes are going to work right now is just Nature's Prophet and Underlord. Imagine the game. All the creeps are going to be pushed out because these two heroes kill the creeps very quickly. Then they're going to be moving around the map quickly, running at you. So the Jakiro has to work overtime to deal with the wave. If they get overwhelmed by the waves, they'll die to ganks and lose towers very quickly. So the last pick should be something that can kill buildings quick or take Roshan for EHOME. Like TA would be Dazzle. What carry Dazzle? I think it's a Mugi hero. Or am I wrong? It's an offlane hero. I remember he played a game of Dazzle carry.
Yeah, it was really recent too that he played that Dazzle carry.
What's going on?
10 seconds remaining.
That Nature's Prophet, by the way, was
5 seconds remaining.
at least one of the matches that Chalice was on the Nature's Prophet was Drums, Deso, Orchid, and then the game was over in 20 minutes.
Okay, they banned Winter Wyvern, so TA is coming. Definitely TA is like one of the best picks here I see for eHome. Oh, they
Dire
banned
team pick.
OD. So what is this? AQ is playing Morphling. Mugi is playing Ember. Offlane Dazzle. Dazzle Pango. Jakiro Ember.
Moving that Dazzle from the 1 position
10
down all the
seconds
way into
remaining.
his support role.
5 seconds
Sorry.
remaining.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So EHOME. We'll see if it's that TA.
Okay.
They've got the
Can
Underlord
they
as well as the
pick-
Nature's
I
Prophet.
mean, the other one is Huskar. Huskar is also a
Okay.
Roshan hero, and no one on
Ooh.
the Radiant team can lane against Huskar. Wait, I guess they can do Dazzle. Okay, wait, if they do Dazzle, if they switch their lanes to Dazzle, maybe that could deal with Huskar. But then they have to sacrifice somebody to the offlane. It's definitely going to be Ember, not going to be Morphling. Oh, Huskar feels like easy game. Another option would be the Elk. Elk is also decent. TA, Huskar, Elk. All these 3 picks I think could work.
You've been really liking the potential ALK picks.
Yeah, because their draft allows the hero to be picked. That's the way they're drafting.
You may now select your heroes.
It's good that when you arrive at the 22nd pick and you have a lot of options, it means that the first 4 heroes picked around the draft is really good. That's why you have a lot of options in your last pick. If the first 4 heroes are not being well thought out, you're just picking for the sake of picking, then the last pick doesn't. You won't have many options. It's a
And-
good draft from EHOME.
Interestingly enough, for Newbee, they went AQ on the Morphling, Mugi on the Dazzle, Wei Shi on the Ember, so offlane Ember.
Huh? What? No,
And
no,
then-
no, no, it's support Ember. Wei Shi is
Oh
support.
yeah, yeah.
right?
Wei Shi's the
Wait,
4, Wizard's the 3. You're right.
So is what? Ember Pango. Or maybe maybe they are going to go aggressive lane, or Dazzle will be on the off lane against. That makes more sense, right? If they put Dazzle against the Nature's Prophet. Wait, and then they do like Pango against Underlord? Wait, that actually doesn't sound too good. Maybe they just want to win the lane against Underlord. Then they put the Dazzle there. Or they could do Dazzle against TA. Dazzle can beat TA in the lane. You just need to get Sentry so he doesn't dodge the poison. So what is the lanes? Tell me. Tell me, sure.
I'm just surprised. I really thought this was just gonna be a
What are they doing?
support Dazzle, but they've been trying this Dazzle
he's
one
a support.
position.
He's a support. He's a support
For
call.
battle.
But recently the support call Dazzle gotten a buff, right? Remember he has like some damn. What's the buff? You get like right click when you. Is that with X? Yeah, that's with X.
The axe change,
So
I thought I didn't really like the axe change though as much.
You don't like the X change?
Personally, I thought it was a lot more underwhelming than the AOE shallow grave that it used to be.
But it's better for the core Dazzle though. That's what
Yeah.
I think. Because imagine you get 60 damage, level 10, then you have the axe. You pack a punch on Dazzle after minusing a lot of armor with your spells. Bad juju. Bad juju. That's actually my favorite name
30
among the
seconds
spells in
to
Dota. Bad juju. Badass.
Give him the bad juju. What else?
The other cool name will definitely be Walrus. It feels like he already won the game with that.
What about the walrus kick? Not as good?
Nah, the kick is illegal in boxing.
Unless you're kickboxing. Or doing Muay Thai.
wins.
What MMA? Not?
Exactly.
Grappling and kicking is allowed.
That's when Jinkyu gets the axe. He unlocks the entire potential and goes from just boxing to the MMA.
So he's Hitmonchan right now, but when he gets X, he's Hitmonlee as well.
The question is, when does it become Hitmon top?
Same generation confirmed.
Were you a Hitmonlee picker or a Hitmonchan picker?
No, I'm a Blastoise picker. I like water Pokemons. But if I have to choose, I will choose Hitmonchan.
I always liked the punch variations. Oh,
You
AQ.
have the Fire Punch and Ice Punch and Thunder Punch. You have all the different elements. The kick doesn't have the flexibility, but you do more damage.
Yeah, the sky high kick was always the big one. I was a big Squirtle guy as well. I feel like
He's the
Charmander was
cutest,
overrated.
He's the cutest, but Pikachu lovers are gonna argue. It's super effective against Blastoise.
Nothing to say was doing so much to AQ over mid. Almost killed him like the first 10 seconds. AQ was heavy into the Agi and he almost died, but he's going to try and trade with Nothing to Say the waveform forward. Woo, one shot away. Almost getting the kill on Nothing to Say. They both popped the salves. It's a close lane. It's a lot of aggro in this lane. I love it. But nothing to say first to level 3 by just a slim margin. These sideweights doing so much to this Morphling.
Yeah, this lane is actually terrible for Morph. Morph loses to TA flat out. There's no way he can play this lane because he's too short range, like, and he can't really dodge the side blades. Like, if the TA knows what he's doing, the Morphling takes too much harass in the lane. I think back then when Morphling was... Remember the time when Morphling was picked a lot for mid lane? The two usual counters in the lane are TA and Lina. Lina for obvious reasons, right? Because you can just spam him down if you're nukes. And TA is the side blade harass.
You could see it becoming so problematic here for AQ. And nothing to say, already having a great
All
time.
the goal you make from the lane, you have to buy South and Tango. It's a very sad life.
And that's when you start to see these matchups go really wrong, is you see the third or the fourth salve come out for the middle lane just trying to survive here. And then you're in the dumpster. Like, we've seen it a couple times where mids end like the first 7 minutes or so. And they're just like, I've got 1,000 gold. That's it. I bought 4 or 5 salves in my lane. I have nothing else to really show for it. It was that gyro game we saw mid. It was kind of crazy.
You can show the CS. 30 CS. Look at my CS. I'm equal CS with him. You can't say I lose my lane. That's the common argument in pubs.
Meanwhile, you have 1,600 net worth and they have 3,600 net worth.
Yeah, but I have equal CS. I didn't lose my lane. Kappa.
Oh, AQ. Just trying to fight, nothing to say with creep there.
Yeah, he's saying that I'm not losing my... Actually, no, never mind. He has 10 CS to 19. Forget it.
He doesn't even have the excuse.
Arcane Rune? Does this help? Nah. If he gets a DD, yeah, sure, but Arcane Rune.
Nothing
This
to say
lane
has...
just gonna go from bad to worse here.
Oh, yeah.
When T is gonna deny all the creeps, he's level 5 now. He's gonna have to rely on his teammates to, you know, make some space later so he can catch up. And Mugi's in trouble. One last right click.
Gonna get the kill there onto the Dazzle. Sour getting credit with that one. When they're already up 1,000 net worth, and you could see this already spiraling. Like, just 4 minutes 38 seconds in, and you look at just how much pressure Nothing to Say is putting on here over mid on the AQ. It's 2 or 3 sideways that puts him down to less than a quarter health. And getting that first blood for EHOME is going to be a great feeling to really just open up the game.
Yeah, bounty runes. Let's see, EHOME 1, 2, and 3. It should be 3. Yeah, but back to what I remember when I told you, I feel like in this team, I would put Nothing to Say on the win condition because this is where Sylar wants to be. This kind of supporting core, right? Like Nature's Prophet, he plays for the team more. And Nothing to Say on the win condition here. I feel like when the team is set up like this, the movement and everything else flows much better. Because it's just natural for the player to play the way he's playing in this kind of draft. For Sylar especially.
Now already extending that lead to 2,000 net worth ahead. Morphling taking some damage and then going back into that Agi. Trying to get the values tango. Bottom. They look for Sylar. Dual Breath is out. They get the kill there. Shards block out Mugi, but... Well, there's nothing really to show for this. They've got 3 heroes here from Newbee to get this kill onto the Nature's Prophet, but it is making space for the 2 other lanes. And it will get this, just AQ getting harassed even more. He doesn't even do anything to this TA. The TA is just able to stand and bang.
Yeah, yes, he tickles him. What are you saying? Look at him. He's gonna go there and break a refraction charge. Just watch. Never mind. Oh, sad lane. Don't worry. When it comes to the mid game, then Morphling is going to take over this game in the next 20 minutes.
Does he just take over though? Because look at his net worth. He's sitting here, 1600 net worth. Sitting
He has
like
to
I said.
rely on his team. Rely on the team. The Dazzle, the Pango, the Ember. By time, defend towers, clear waves.
They're coming from behind. Wei Shi's here, but the tag team is out from Jinkyu, doing a lot of damage. They've got the Searing Chains here onto the Tusk, as well as the Ice Path. Can they get the kill on Wei Shi? They can. Wrath of Nature was used by Sour. They look over at Faith. They've got the Snowball to follow this one up. But Treants are actually kind of blocking out Jinkyu as well as Innocence, and Faith made some space. However, he will lose his life after taking out the Observer Ward.
Tower is under attack.
Excellent play there by the Bane, making the rotation. He realized he can't really do much at mid. He can't really kill them off, so he moves bot. And that's the breakthrough right there. They can't really pressure the tower. I think that's the good news for Newbee. You're always happy when you're playing against Nature's Prophet and the first catapult is already spawned and over, and your towers are still alive, you know, or they didn't take too much damage. And Nature's Prophet is level 6 right now, so he has the Nature's available in 30
Radiant
seconds.
structures are fortified. Illusion.
And Underlord is happy as a free farm lane against the Pango. See, in trouble.
Trying to go for this Undying. Faith Beyond hit with the Rolling Thunder. Some damage done, as well as the Ice Path continuing to lock him up with the Rolling Thunder. Shadow Wave out from Mugi, and the last right click comes in from Wizard. But this is heavy rotations just to get one kill.
Blame me, Ben. It's my fault. The moment I said he's happy farming and then he dies, that's on me. My
The
bad.
Jinx. That's a report.
I deserve a report. It's my fault.
Faith coming over, misses the Ice Path. Nothing to say, gonna move up on Faith. Meld Strike hits with 2 more shots to get the kill. Nothing to say, really taking over mid, and anybody who comes over is in danger immediately. And now they look over at AQ.
Dire's top
Innocence,
tower is
he's
under attack.
got the Nightmare. If you wanted to hold him down a little bit and maybe have the TA roll over, or even the Tusk.
Oh dear, this is gonna be like some, 12-minute Dazzle and Roshan. Oh dear.
This has got to feel better than the Phase
I'm afraid
Vanguard.
The Morphing is not gonna have time. He is not going to have time to farm.
Radiant's middle tower has
Game is gonna go too quick. There's gonna be a Dazzle on TA and a Nature's Prophet killing your base. Here comes
Yeah,
the
bottom Rolling Thunder comes in. They look over at both Innocence as well as Sylar. They've got 3 heroes down here. They're going to focus their attention onto the Vayne, where they look to get this kill. Gets away for a second, but the Swashbuckle comes in to finish him off. And now
Awesome,
finally
man.
showing up is Jinkyu. He's only level 4, but he puts out the tag team as well as the Snowball to save Sylar for a moment. But the Swashbuckle with the Lucky Shot proccing on both heroes really saves the day. So they get the kill there on the Nature's Prophet. They'll look for more Jinkyu on the run. Swashbuckle comes in once again. He will pop that wand, avoid the Ice Path, and escape.
Alright, Nature's Prophet should have ditched the support there. He thinks that he was really strong because the Tusk is coming. But paid the price. That was a very, very important kill for Newbee to get themselves back into the game. Well, a step at a time, they're still 4k behind. The Morphling is still very, very sad. Living the poverty life.
He's still, just trying to bring it back if he can, but nothing to say. Oh my god, a double damage with the
Time to go
amount
for
of gold
Midas.
he's already got.
Time to go for Midas. Remember what the OD did yesterday?
Yeah, the OT, that build-up just didn't end up working. It felt like that was like the game-ending item, trying to get that recovery Midas.
So what is the recovery item here for the Morph? I think just this Morbid Mask is enough.
Certainly not a Lincoln's, I'll tell you that much. Although, I just don't think he has the time for the Lincoln's build-up, that first item.
Yasha or E-Blade Rush? I think E-Blade Rush.
Radiant's
E-Blade.
bottom tower has fallen.
But the thing is with the Morbid Mask, you kind of want Yasha, so you farm very, very, very. And top lane, they're setting up a smoke gank on this tank.
And they get the kill here on the Faith Beyond. He's going to go with the Dark Rift, try to escape. He's got some time, but it's long level 1. Oy, it's 6 seconds. It's such a long time to be blown up there, and they almost didn't get it.
Is under attack.
Yeah, he was doing it really safely. He was like pushing from the furthest range, going back to his tower, but his death and burn, they're able to catch him. I was like, again, another big kill for Newbee, another core. But TA is the biggest hero here right now. Has his Deso, almost has his blink. Like, this is as good as a start you can get on 13-14 minutes. Blink, Power Trace, and Desolator. You can't ask for anything better. It's all about how can they snowball from here. Get the rush and keep pushing forward. They cannot allow the team and the players to be complacent, even though they have like such a good start from the lanes, because the morphing eventually is going to catch up and kill everyone on the diet. He is the strongest hero in the game, if it's allowed to farm.
We'll see if they keep with the pressure. They look over at Innocence. They've got the Swashbuckler over, but the Nightmare using himself. They'll surround him. Get the kill.
He's like really good at like breaking all these smokes for the core players. It's like he's been doing this like repeat. Yesterday, the games before that, he just knows where he has to be. Like if you look at Underlord is here, right? Nature's Prophet is farming here. Then the other support is pushing out here, and the TA wants to farm here. So he needs someone to stand to be a ward on the left. And Faith in trouble. Easy pickings.
It's such an easy kill at that point. Now they might even get the kill on a wizard, but he's got the Swashbuckler to make some space. The question is, does he get all the way out? Rolling Thunder started for a second, and they just can't catch up to him just yet. But now they've got the Blink Dagger. It's a quick Deso Blink.
Yeah, can't they just go rush now? Or they want to try to get a pick off? Because the Pango could be annoying in the rush pick.
Side of his Searing Chains out onto the Tusk. Now they've got the tag team activated by AQ, but he'll buy some time here with the Snowball. Nobody coming over, however, and, well, Snowball used by AQ. Shards come out to try and make some distance, but AQ gets the kill.
I mean, I feel like one of the cores should move to bottom. Because the way they are playing right now is Nature's Prophet can TP, Underlord can TP as well, but Nature's Prophet wants to be, I think Nature's Prophet should be at, Underlord should be shuffling this lane here, and then he can use Firestorm, push out the wave, and he can run to connect to his teammates. That should be the ideal setup for. Right now, the Nature's Prophet and the Underlord's positioning is not correct. That's why it's not allowing his team to control it.
It seems for the most part, Faith Beyond's been pretty stationary over towards top.
Yeah, I don't think he should be top, to be honest. I think he should be middle. Because the carry is in Nature's Prophet, that's why he should. If it's any other carry, the Underlord is in the right place. But because this game is different. So now his team have decided to move towards the Underlord. Because they can't seem to get enough people to invade the bottom jungle. Grip? Can they get the grip off?
Yes, they can. They've got the Snowball to follow it up, but they don't even really need it. The damage is already there from Nothing to Say, and Jinkyu gets the kill with the Walrus Punch.
Kill secured, my man. Kill secured.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The seeds of fortune.
Sylar, he's also got a new Desolator. But I guess it buys time here for Faith Beyond to continue to just farm. He's going into the pipe. He's got himself Arcane Boots as well as the mech. Just buying as much time as he can to farm this top lane. Got the Pit of Malice out, and now there's the Dark Rift to immediately try to leave. Hood gets delivered, and there's no way that they can kill this Underlord before he's got the escape.
Why they have another Deso on Nature's Prophet?
Yes. And with the Mask of Madness, too. And he's going into the AC next.
Why? But why? Why do they want to put Desos?
It's good damage.
Is it efficient damage? Sure.
Radiant's bottom tower
60 damage for what? 3,000
Radiant
gold.
structures are fortified.
I mean, it's
not
kinda
terrible.
Good. Yeah, we'll go worth for the money, but still, like having 2 Desos.
Bane getting focused back. Macropyre for this Bane. Not that they were using the Macropyre on anything else at the moment, but it's a bit of a commitment for just the Bane. And meanwhile, EHOME, they're going to look over to Roche, like you said, try to get this Aegis as quickly as possible. Swashbuckle, Rolling Thunder, looking to disrupt the Roche. This is almost going exactly as you predicted it.
Team? Where's team? Where's Nature's Prophet?
Nature's Prophet finally coming in. They've got the Pit of Malice as well as the Meld Strike, but the Ice Path locks him up. They've got the Snowball. Do they pull anybody else with him? He actually ends up going back towards AQ, where Aegis is picked up by Nothing to Say. So can they keep the TA alive? They look over the Tusk, who's running away, but he's disarmed. They get the kill there on a Wizard as well as AQ. They'll lose 2 on the side of Newbee. And now with the damage coming through on a Wei Shi, the Sleight of Fist to survive for a little bit longer, but he ends up dead to the Firestorm that was dropped down by Faith Beyond. They look over at Faith. Damage coming through from Sylar. They get themselves a 4th and now a 5th. A full team wipe here for the side of EHOME by the Roche Pit as well as the Aegis, but that ended up getting used.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So a good fight there from EHOME.
He was
Despite the
close to
disruption.
stealing it.
Radiant's
You have to
top
give
tower
him,
has
you know,
fallen.
points for effort for the Morphling after the disastrous laning phase. He was very close to redeeming himself if he got the Aegis. I think they would have just won the fight because Tia would have died and he couldn't. I think after that, Dyer would have to reach.
It would have been completely game-changing. Because of the fact they would have picked up the Aegis and the TA dies at that moment, because the TA got really low and the Aegis was popped almost immediately in that fight.
Oh,
Dark
here
Rift.
comes the backup.
Coming
Backup is
over.
inbound.
And they've delivered. They've got the Snowball coming through as well as the Macropyre dropped down by the Jakiro. Rolling Thunder, Nightmare trying to save his life. They've got the Refraction as well as the Remnant over. They get the kill on a Nothing to Say. The Sleight of Fist coming through from Wei Shi, but he is very weak at the moment. The Innocence Bane dies. And Faith actually loses his life to a neutral creep. They'll move forward. The Walrus Punch out onto the Pangolier. With the Pit of Malice, the right-click damage from Sylar is no joke. They get the kill on a Wizard. It ends up being a 3 for 3. Double kill there for the Nature's Prophet. But again, Morphling starting to show a little bit of power.
Not a good time to fight. TA had like 3,000 gold in the bank. He was very close to like buying a BKB. But they took the fight, forced him to TP, and he died. I mean, 3 for 3 is not a good trade for EHOME because they're so far ahead. They need to be careful though. Like if they botch another fight, Morphling gets the E-Blade, he defends a high ground push, the game could easily turn to a Radiant's fate.
Still such a tough hill to climb here for the Morphling, though, and the rest of the team. They're down by so much gold. They've got this BKB flying out on to the Templar Assassin. Things are only going to get tougher. AC about to be finished here for Sylar 2, who's really right-clicking away. He seems to not get focused as much as the TA, and all of a sudden you've got these 2 pretty high damage dealers coming into this fight, and EHOME certainly taking advantage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dyer's top tower is under attack.
They're just rolling through these towers now.
Are fortified.
So Nothing to Say sets up. Swashbuckle comes in, doesn't get the disarm, but now they've got themselves the Snowball, Walrus Punch, and the Shallow Grave to keep alive this Pangolier. The BKB was popped by Nothing to Say, and the Sleight of Fist comes through. AQ doing a lot of damage on the Jinkyu to take out this Tusk. They get out of there with the Dark Rift, and the entire time Sylar, he's continuing to push out over towards top.
Come to me.
So Guardian Greaves there for the Underlord, as well as the Dazzle of Mugi, who we really haven't spoken about too much. He's got the Necro Book, he's got the Guardian Greaves. And, have we really felt his presence much at all?
Fine humus.
This feels like just a game that's mostly focused here on AQ. So again, EHOME looking to pressure over through mid as well as bottom. They've got Sylar pushing bottom. Firestorm comes in from Faith Beyond over mid, so both lanes pushing in. They'll focus on the tier 3 tower. Bottom once again. Poison touch out from Mugi just to start this off. Let's see if the side of Newbee can hold. Macropyre laid down. But the tier 3 quickly dropped.
Bottom tower.
They have to be careful though. Nature's Prophet has no BKB. He can still die very easily in the fights. I mean, ideally I think ideally you wait for the BKB plus the second Roche with cheese. That's when you try to end the game. Right now it's very, very dangerous. Even though they have this like 14k lead, but if they push the high ground, Radiant uses some buybacks to turn the fight around, the Morphing kills 2-3 cores, the game could just be
Radiant are
turned around in one fight. So yep, I like what EHOME's doing right now, despite the advantage backing off, trying to finish the last couple of items that they need, and just wait for the second Roche, which is going to be what, in like at least 3 to 4 minutes. It's going to start random time in 2.5 minutes.
Now, is it worth waiting for that Roche if AQ is going to have this time and space to farm? Like, is it giving what is believed to be the strongest hero in this game at the moment? Not via the net worth, but when it gets to that point.
Bare minimum, they have to go when Nature's Prophet has BKB. They still have to wait for a BKB. Maybe another couple of minutes. If they're lucky, the Roshan will get a quick spawn. They can use the Nature's Prophet BKB, take the Roche, then push high run. That would be the most ideal situation. Most ideal scenario. Does he have BKB? Oh, he already has it? Okay. I guess they should go right now. Oh, that was quick. He found that 1k goal in like 1.5.
Making sure he could have the BKB ready to look for this fight. Let's get the Fiend's Grip down on the Pangolier. They look for the damage coming in from Sour as well as nothing to say, but the Shadow Grave is there to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Swashbuckler on the low ground. Shots come in as well as the Essence Ring saving his life. Over towards the front of the fight though, AQ goes to the waveform looking over at Innocence. Will get the kill onto the Bane and now turns into the Underlord. But they've got the damage out onto this Pangolier. Wizard is going to be the first one to drop on the side of Newbee. The Ice Path flies in. That'll stun up the TA, but the E-Blade thrown forward by AQ. He's got the Spirit Vessel on him. They'll get the kill to the TA, and now they look over for the rest. Damage out onto Weishi from Sylar. One more shot. The Ice Path again from Faith. Firestorm is what finishes off the Ember. Now they look over the Jakiro. We'll have the Pit of Malice when they pull the Nightmare. Snowball, Shards, Faith tries to TP, but they've got the Walrus Punch and the damage to get the kill. They lose the TA.
And they use the buyback on the Bane. So, equal trade actually. You see how strong the Morphling is? They're so far behind, but they're still... They need to be very, very careful. If somehow they lose another fight, the Roshan gets claimed by the Morph, I think the game will just be really hard. They could just lose from that point. Maybe they have to buy like multiple Hex. Maybe the Nature's Prophet should get a Hex. The TA is also getting a Hex. Morphing is a very big problem right now. Uh-oh, Nature's Prophet, is he gonna get caught here?
Got a couple of heroes coming bottom. Swashbuckle BKB is forced. Sylar now with the TP out.
Classic Sylar BKB TP. How many times have we seen him do that? Classic. Didn't he see them with the ward there? Why would he like push with his hero after he saw them coming? He could have just used his Treants to push the lane. And right now he has no BKB for 45 seconds. Roshan is what is this, a maximum time spawn for 2 minutes?
Radiant
Yeah, it seems like the longest one.
Extremely unlucky for Dire. They need the Rosh to spawn as soon as possible.
I'm gonna try and get this kill out on the Wizard. They got the silence to start. Can they get the vision out to get the Nightmare? No.
Oh, top lane, they're exposed. They have to get out.
Yeah, they look over at Faith Beyond. They've got the Rolling Thunder. Pit of Malice is laid down, I believe, by AQ onto this Underlord, but the Snowball as well as the Dark Rift. I think that stops the Dark Rift. It keeps him here, and Faith Beyond, he ends up losing his life. Xingqiu next as they've got the Remnant forward, the Walrus Punch, extending his time alive, but only just for a split second.
Did the Dark Rift get cancelled? But it's on cooldown.
Yeah, I think
heck?
it...
Isn't that strange? What happened? don't
I think
you
it went
can
off while
cancel
he was in the
dark
snowball. Does that count as it not going off?
A rune of haste.
reef. No, it works. You're supposed to fly back to base. Scratching my head here. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
He cast the snowball after the dark reef. He went into the snowball, and then after 3 seconds, they came out with snowball. It's a 4-second check, and they didn't go back to base. He didn't even have the animation on top of him for the dark reef, but his ultimate is on cooldown. I don't know what happened. Good for Radiant, I guess.
Starting to pull it
Pretty
back.
sure Radiant is like
Is under
one fight away from just turning the game around. Just one fight. 16k go down, but it doesn't feel like they're down and out. Do they have the hex on the TA now? No, nullifier. Hex on Nature's Prophet? No, they does.
He's actually picked up the nullifier and he's going into the butterfly next. He's
Is that
skipping
better
the
than hex?
hex. And they'll get the easy kill on the Jakiro.
you never know the mysteries.
They're looking for this Roche. This is exactly what they need, Aegis and Cheese. And they're going to take it so fast. Oh, wow. That was one of the fastest Roche I've ever seen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Daedalus next for the Nature's Prophet, so he's not going to go to the Hex either.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top
So they get
tower
the top
is
tier
falling.
too. They'll pressure into the lane a little bit. We've got the Aegis available now onto the Templar Assassin. Thing to say, trying to finish this off with the help of his team. They've got the Pit of Malice down. Wizard now on the run. The Metal Strike hits as well as the Spirit Vessel. Had the Lotus Orb on him. Sleight of Fist, no Searing Chains. So they back up for a moment. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet TPing back to base to finish off that Daedalus. So he's back in it. And Sylar was doing a lot of damage prior to this this Daedalus. I'm interested to
Where's
see.
the rapier? Where's the rapier? Not enough damage.
He needs even more. Oh wow! Yo, look at how much he rips through Wizard right there. Jesus.
That was a hero that had 40 armor, by the way. Yeah.
Feels like 0.
Look at how careful is EHOME. They understand that if they make one, the mob is gonna take over. But they're being so careful and methodical with everything they're doing. With a 20k goalie.
Yeah, it's one of the cooler things about Dota is it almost can be anybody's game at any moment, depending on certain factors, of course. But
You know, you talk about the Nature's Prophet damage, but I feel like the disable is the more of the thing that's lacking, not the damage. They don't have enough lockdown to catch the morphing, apart from the grip from the Bane.
yeah,
which
but it's
he
already used here on the Pangolier, and they've got the Shallow Grave. It'll last, but only extend the inevitable. Faith Beyond will get the kill there, but now they don't have it ready for the Morphling.
Oh, you know what? The Underlord should get X, so they do more damage on the Prophet.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
There's your rapier from your teammate.
Has fallen.
Tusk not even here with the EHOME team.
Radiant's bottom.
Alright, Death Light and Searing Chain on the Sylar. And they losing these buildings. They need to maybe look to defend. They gave up the first one for free. We'll see if they give up the second one without a fight. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains again here on Nothing to Say, as well as Faith Beyond.
Wow, double Underlord. Yeah, that's actually a very good hero to turn into. The Firestorm and the Pit is actually it's so annoying to push up against.
And he gets the permanent agility, so it certainly feels great. Or not the permanent agility, sorry, the permanent damage that comes in from Faith Beyond. They get the kill there on a Mugi. Shards will keep them back. Macropyre laid down. Yeah, it keeps keeps permanent damage.
Wait, how's that fair? Tell me.
Faith Beyond takes some damage. He turns into the Underlord once again. He's got his own Pit of Malice down and turns into the Venn diagram. They look for the Firestorm on top of the TA, and the damage blows up the Aegis. And this is EHOME's time to leave.
Oh no. No man gets left behind. But that was a good Dark Wraith. Now they can still fight. Turn around.
Yeah, all they did was go mid.
That was a very smart Dark Wraith.
Nice path out onto the Tusk, and now they've got the damage coming in from this Morphling, but the Lotus Orb was there in time. They look to kill off AQ. The Fiend's Grip once again used on the Pangolier. The BKB coming out from nothing to say, but the Ice Path locks up the Bane as well as the Underlord. The damage not seemingly being enough yet to kill off the Pango, but they look over at AQ. They've also got themselves everything but one Rax. Swashbuckler comes through, Weishi with the Sleight of Fist as well as the Searing Chains, but that's not going to land on the Sylar. EHOME, knowing that they're getting these buildings, doing their job, and the BKB is to secure the Mega Creeps. They look over the Pangolier, they get the kill there. Now the Jakiro will fall. Faith dead for a while, but buys back. And they've got the silence out on Namugi, who really has felt like a non-factor throughout the entire game, except for a shallow grave here or there. He's dead for 90 seconds, doesn't have buyback. They'll focus their attention onto the tier 4s, and it doesn't really look like Newbee have an answer, and with that, they'll call GG. So 2-1 victory for EHOME. And a very well played game by both the TA as well as the Nature's Prophet.
MVP this game, probably I think the draft for Dire. I think everyone did their job. Not so sure about the double desert, but it worked out. And the early thing about the Underlord and the Nature's Prophet being on they should swap positions when they are trying to control the bottom area. But apart from that, I think EHOME did what they're supposed to do with the draft and just brilliant setup for the last pick.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the draft from Newbee was in some ways a little bit questionable. Like, I don't think we really even felt the dazzle the entire time. And it definitely seemed like it was a big struggle for the dazzle. Like, what is Mugi supposed to do in that game?
Lesson learned for Newbee. I mean, it's more about like them losing all the lanes too. You know, they lost all 3 lanes. I mean, it's really difficult to talk about anything if you lose all your lanes at the start. You know, it's so hard for the players to do what they're supposed to do. Maybe Mugi is not very sure about what he has to do in the game, but everyone lost their lane. So what you can do in the game is very limited from the beginning, because you're like half crippled from the laning phase.
Yeah, and it just never really got off the ground for them, and they were really hoping on the Morphling, who got slowed down in the early goings just because the laning phase that really didn't do anything.
He almost made the comeback. Almost. He was very close.
Yeah,
he stole the Aegis. If he stole that Aegis, killed the TA, and
game
maybe
changes
someone
right
didn't lose that fight, I think the game would turn instant.
Yeah, I think it's theirs, especially if they end up taking that. But he was like a hair of a second off, and it was so close there from AQ. He did everything he could to try and bring this game back. It's not like he didn't give it a fair shake, but being that far behind, the rest of the team not really feeling that effective, it was all on his back, and I mean, that's hard to carry. So at the end of the day, EHOME take the 2-1 victory. So that ends the series here. 2-1 in favor of EHOME. We'll be on to the next series in about an hour, if the schedule stays strict. SAG up against Ocean coming up at you next, so stay right there. We'll be right back.